Hi, everyone. This is Rabbi Cohen coming to you from the TAS Virtual Sukkot. This is Thursday. It is the sixth day of the week-long celebration of Sukkot. And you know, Sukkot is the only one of all the festivals that's referred to as Man Simchatenu, the time of our rejoicing. So therefore, it's a bit ironic, a bit strange that one of the books of the Tanakh, the books of the Bible that is prescribed to be read at this time is the Book of Kohelet, the Book of Ecclesiastes, which really is it's a downer. It's a bit of a depressing book. And yet, at our time of rejoicing, we are taught to study this very somber of books. And how do we make sense of that? It just doesn't seem to connect. And so I wanted to share a few quick teachings with you today about the approach towards the Book of Ecclesiastes that makes a connection with this celebration, this joyful celebration of Sukkot. So the Book of Ecclesiastes begins with this phrase, "Vanity of vanities," says Kohelet. "Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit has a person of all his labor that he labors under the sun? One generation passes away and another generation comes, and the earth stands forever." This word that's translated as vanity is the Hebrew word hevel, which means transient or without substance. And that seems to be the way that Solomon feels reflecting back on his life. This is Solomon as an old man. When he was younger, he was credited with writing the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. In middle age, he wrote the Book of Proverbs, but now as he's reached the end of his life, he seems to be reflecting and realizing that there's not much of your life that goes with you when you die. And so the Israeli scholar Eitan Dorashav recently wrote, "The Book of Ecclesiastes is a philosophical account of the attempt to find happiness by a man who has everything." 12 chapters long. It is one of literature's earliest encounters between faith and reason. The author struggles to believe that life is meaningful despite his experiences of the world. The book's inclusion in the Hebrew Bible is therefore remarkable, testifying to Judaism's interest not only in divine revelation, but also in man's exploration of the meaning of life and mortality. The search for meaning is an eternal one, but the use of Solomon's voice carries special importance for the modern reader. As opposed to the quest of Job, Solomon's search for wisdom did not arise from a desire to make sense of either personal misfortune or national catastrophe. Rather, Kohelet sets out on his inquiry from the perspective of a life replete with fortune and opportunity. He takes as his starting point not revelation, but man's personal need for meaning. That's a very modern and a very different interpretation than what we see in the Talmud, where the point of view of our ancient sages is really to struggle with the question, why is this book in the Bible at all? And in the Talmud, in Tractate Shabbat, chapter 30, we are told Rav Yehuda, son of Rav Shmuel Bar Shilta, said in Rav's name, "The sages wish to hide the Book of Kohelet because its words are contradictory." And why did they not hide it? Because it begins with words of Torah and it ends with words of Torah. It begins with words of Torah as it is written, "What profit has a man of all his labor that he labors under the sun?" And the school of Rav Yana commented, "Under the sun he has none, but he has it profit before the sun." It ends with words of Torah as it is written. Let us hear the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his mitzvot, for this is the whole of life. Sukkot, and dwelling in the Sukkah, is the festival of transience. We spend our time in these fragile structures exactly to impress upon us that life isn't based all in the material possessions that we have in this world. So Sukkot is about transience, but it's also about simcha, about joy and celebration. And the contrast between these two ideas reminds us of the true staying power of happiness that is found in wisdom. That is what Sukkot teaches us, and that is what Kohelet teaches us as well. I wish everybody a Chag Sameach and look forward to celebrating with you on Simchat Torah tomorrow evening. All the best. Bye-bye.